And now the news in details. Analyst has charged Pan-Niger Delta Forum to resolve River State political crisis by calling on both parties to embrace peace. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversation, public affairs analyst Prince Abulabu stated that to end the political rifts between Governor Fubara and the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Pandev should also discuss with external forces that could be responsible for the crisis.
It is for them to have gone in, discussed with the parties, had this discussion with the parties. At this point, we should have had that after meeting the executive governor of River State and had discussions with him, maybe prevailing on him to withdraw his arsenals. They do same to the FCT minister, and at that point, we know that it is a process. It's not something that could be achieved a moment. It's a process. After that, they can think of bringing parties. If there are some hands behind the crisis, they should be able to identify those hands and also discuss with them, bring every parties to table. It is only when you do that that you are suing for peace. Because definitely, if Mr. President have taken this bold step, is it sustainable? Because there is a pronouncement by the court. There is a pronouncement by the court. What if a party in the matter goes to enforce that judgment, go to insist on it?
On his part, Chris Oka said that setting up a committee to reconcile the crisis in River State by Pandev after criticizing the outcome of the PA's panel setup by President Tinubu is a double standard.
Intervene in the crisis in River State, which the president did. I can't remember if Edwin Clark was in the reconciliation meeting held in Asoro, but I know that immediately after that, he criticized the position of the outcome of that peace panel. And coming to set up a committee to reconcile the political crisis in River State after you have taken a stand is a double standard. So I don't want to go into that. I don't know about the chairman of the committee, but when you look at the leadership, it tells that this committee already may not proffer solution to the crisis in River State. And again, the Pandev commended the president for not withholding allocation of River State. If you ask me, it's not just about the president, like my brother said. The president is not above the constitution. Some of these intervene in the crisis in River State with the president.
Recall that the national chairman of the South-South Apex social political body, Pan-Niger Delta Forum, Ambassador Godnosi Gali, has commended President Bola Tinubu-led federal government for not withholding statutory allocation due to River State. Organized labor in Bayelsa State and the state government have finally reached a truce in the disputes that followed the 80,000 naira minimum wage adopted by the government for the same workers. After several hours of meeting, it was agreed that the computation of the consequential adjustment of the 80,000 naira minimum wage by the committee set up by government and organized labor was flawed. However, at the end of the meeting of the organized labor with the Deputy Governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Lawrence Ewurejakpo, the leadership of Nigeria Labour Congress, Trade Union Congress, and Joint Negotiating Council, JNC, government was appreciated for the approval of 80,000 naira no minimum wage. A statement issued at the end of the meeting asked Bayelsa State workers to remain calm and resolute as a committee by organized labor and government is reviewing the templates to come up with more acceptable figures. The statement clarified that the organized labor leaders have agreed that the proposed payment for November 2024 salary should go on and the differentials on workers' salaries would be affected in December 2024. It was also agreed that the new templates to be used for December 2024 will be duly signed by government and organized labor. The statements were signed by Comrade Barnabas Simon, Chairman, NLC Bayelsa Comrade Laye Julius, Chairman, TUC Bayelsa, and Comrade Mbeleko Nda by Chairman JNC Bayelsa. Independent National Electoral Commission has responded to allegations from People's Democratic Party governors regarding manipulation of the 2024 Edo State governorship election. During a recent two-day meeting, the PDP governors claimed that electoral irregularities prevented the party's candidate Asue Ighodalo from winning in Edo. The PDP governors also accused INEC of rigging in the recent Ondo election. They alleged that INEC altered results to benefit the APC and urged the judiciary and lawmakers to enhance electoral laws to combat what they referred to as institutional sabotage of the will of the people. In response, Rotimi Oyekomi, Chief Press Secretary to the INEC chairman, called the allegations unfortunate and inappropriate, emphasizing that INEC, as a law-abiding body, cannot comment on ongoing court matters. Oyekomi criticized the PDP governors for engaging in a media trial, encouraging them to present their evidence in court instead of making unsubstantiated claims publicly. He pointed out that the PDP has filed a petition at the tribunal to contest the Edo State governorship election results, suggesting they should provide their evidence there. Regarding the Ondo State election, Oyekomi defended INEC's performance, labeling it as one of the best elections conducted by the Commission. Members of the Cross River State chapter of the People's Democratic Party on Monday stormed the party secretariat with various placards, protesting alleged plans to reinstate the ousted state chairman of the party. It was gathered that the protest was carried out by the ward and local government chapters of the PDP across the state. The protesters, armed with placards with various inscriptions, threatened to leave the party should they remove chairman Mr. Venasius Ikem be reinstated. According to the protesters, who were led by the Calabar Municipality Chairman, Mr. Bassi Asukwa, the removal of Ikem was the best thing to have happened to the party. Asukwa said that the party faithful no longer wanted Ikem as the party chairman. His leadership had stagnated the growth of the party in Cross River, he added. On his part, Chief Dennis Nkiri, deputy state chairman of the party, who received the protesters, assured them that the right thing would be done for the growth of the party. Similarly, Mr. Mike OGC, State Publicity Secretary of the PDP, said, "We want Jonah to be removed from the boat for it not to sink." Recall that the state work of the party had a fortnight ago removed Ikem over allegations of financial misappropriation, high-handedness and ineptitude. On his part, the ousted chairman had described his removal as unconstitutional and threatened legal action. Abia State government has cautioned against the unauthorized provision of healthcare services and drug distribution by uncertified individuals or groups conducting free medical missions across the state. This warning follows reports of over 20 individuals collapsing during a medical outreach in Abiriba, Ohafia local government area over the weekend. The victims reportedly experienced adverse reactions after receiving medication and were rushed to a nearby hospital for treatment. Commissioner for Health, Professor Enoch Ogbonnaya Uche, revealed that the organizers of the outreach had failed to obtain approval from the State Ministry of Health. Preliminary investigations suggest that the medications administered may have triggered adverse drug reactions among recipients. According to the commissioner, the affected individuals are currently receiving treatment at designated public health facilities, where medical personnel are working to stabilize their conditions. He emphasized that medical missions conducted without official authorization from the Commissioner for Health are the government has declared all unauthorized medical missions illegal and prohibited. Professor Uche urged residents to report any suspected illegal healthcare activities to the Ministry of Health to combat medical quackery and safeguard public health. Unidentified gunmen have launched another attack on operatives of the Anambra State Vigilante Service. The incident happened along the Amesi Uga Road in Aguata local government area, Anambra State. The Anambra State Police spokesman, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, confirmed the incident in a press statement released on Monday. He said police operatives responded swiftly to the attack, rescuing the injured vigilante who was immediately taken to the hospital and is now receiving treatment. According to Ikenga, the police secured the scene of the attack to prevent further criminal activity and ensure properties and goods were safeguarded. He noted that joint security forces have intensified patrols in the area, employing intelligence-led operations to deny the criminals the opportunity to cause further harm and facilitate their eventual arrest. In a separate development, Ikenga reported that police operatives from the Okpoko Divisional Headquarters responded to a distress call regarding a fire outbreak at Chukunonso Street along Obodo Uku Road, Okpoko. Lagos State Traffic Management Authority and the other emergency services have rescued a Toyota Camry driver from under a 40-feet container. The General Manager of LASMA, Mr. Olalekan Bakare Oki, said this in a statement on Monday in Lagos. The statement was signed by Mr. Taufik Adebayo, Director, Public Affairs and Enlightenment Department of LASMA. Bakare Oki listed other emergency services involved in the rescue operation as the Federal Road Safety Corps and the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency. He explained that a 40-foot loaded container en route to Apapa fell onto a Toyota Camry with a registration number LSR 293HJ at Mile 2. The LASMA boss said that the Toyota Camry was successfully removed from beneath the container. He, however, said that efforts to evacuate the container had been in full swing and added that LASMA officers would continue to manage the scene to ease traffic congestion and restore normalcy. Bakare Oki reiterated the critical importance of proper securing of containers by truck drivers and owners. He stressed that negligence in this regard endangered lives and property, urging strict compliance with road safety protocols to avert such catastrophic occurrences. Ogun State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tomi Kuka, said on Monday that approximately 30,350 people are currently receiving HIV and AIDS treatment in the state, with children accounting for 2% of this population. Kuka also highlighted the urgent need to focus on preventing mother-to-child transmission and ensuring that children living with HIV have access to the care and treatment they need. She further noted that to sustain the current momentum and achieve zero cases of HIV and AIDS by 2030, increasing funding for HIV programs to ensure their sustainability must be prioritized. According to Kuka, the state is committed to the global goal of eradicating HIV and AIDS by 2030 and has therefore called on the public to embrace responsible sexual behavior, use condoms, and undergo regular testing to determine their HIV status. The commissioner also emphasized that HIV testing and treatment in the state are free of charge. Kuka made these statements during a press briefing organized by the Ogun State Agency for the Control of AIDS at a conference room of the Ministry of Information and Strategy, Governor's Office, Oke, Moson, Abeokuta, to commemorate this year's World AIDS Day. The theme for this year's observance was Take the Right Path, Sustain HIV Response, Stop HIV Among Children. At least 30 persons have been reportedly killed in 2 days of attacks by suspected armed herdsmen on communities in Katsina, Ala, and local government areas of Benue State. It was gathered that the attacks left many with injuries and several others unaccounted for. A source in local government area and community leader Chief Joseph Anawa stated that the attack started on Sunday morning when the invaders in their hundreds stormed Azege settlement and its environs in Tombo Council Ward. He claimed that the marauders were probably recruited from outside the country, given that they looked different from those that used to visit the area. According to him, the armed herdsmen stormed the community at about 7 a.m. They were numbering over 300 well-armed men suspected to be militia from outside Nigeria. Kogi State Governor Usman Ododo has strongly condemned acts of vigilantism following the alleged killing of a Fulani settler in Isalun, Yagba East local government area last week. In a statement issued on Monday by the Commissioner for Information, Kingsley Farrell, Governor Ododo emphasized the need to uphold the rule of law and caution against individuals taking justice into their hands. The governor convened an emergency security meeting on Saturday in Lokoja to address the incident and hear from all parties involved. The meeting sought to restore peace, maintain security, and prevent potential reprisal attacks that could destabilize the community. Governor Ododo urged the leaders of the Isalu community to warn their subjects against engaging in activities that contribute to insecurity in Yagba East and the entire Yagba Federal constituency. Minister of FCT Barrister Nyesom Wike says the infrastructural work going in both satellite towns and city center of FCT is part of employment program of Mr. President to the FCT residents. The minister, who analyzed ways of job creation by the government during his visit to the life camp site in Abuja, said employment must not be only when citizens are working in the offices, but any job that brings food to the table for survival.
Creation of employment is one of the priority areas of this Tinubu's administration. The hope agenda, creation of employment is a top priority. And employment is not necessarily where you are employed by government. Where youth can find a place to work for their own living. Look at the number of youths, like you said, you find them. Look at all the roads that are running. Look at the number of people that are employed. So I feel happy that at least we have been able to engage youth. And nothing can make you more comfortable when you see their youth are engaged. You can imagine when these jobs are not there, what the number of youth might be doing right now. So one is very, very happy that we are creating the opportunity that are giving employment to our youth. For the past 3 days, you will imagine that we will be satellite house, and you can see the quality of job that's going on here. Today, we're in the city, and also that the same thing we're giving that to the city, is the same quality we're giving that to the satellite town. By the time all those roads are completed, you will imagine what the city will look like. Then we are here, and you can also see that the contractors on site. Look at those, the judges' quarters. I mean, they feel happy. And one can tell you that nothing makes us happy. People are happy that we are delivering the dividends of democracy.
Into the question of how he does feel about criticism surrounding the building of judges' quarters in Abuja, Wike said criticism cannot stop him from doing his work. Hence, he has the backing of Mr. President and people who appreciate his works.
Those who are criticizing, I don't think of that. I am not bothered. But once you have the presidential approval to go ahead and by the backing of the National Assembly, what's my business about those who are criticizing? These are people who, even when you give them the opportunity, they cannot do anything. So forget about those criticisms. If you have not done it, they will say are the ones that will complain that the environment in which our judges and justices are working is not conducive. Now you are trying to provide an environment that will make them well. They will say, oh, it's another reason. So you don't bother yourself and move on and do your work. So I'm not bothered about the so-called criticism. It does not exist where I am. Certainly in government, when people appreciate, it means that indeed you are touching their lives. And when you see such reaction, it makes you work harder. Because what is the sense of governance? It's for you to see how people can be impacted positively, how you can change their life. And you see when people appreciate that, of course it tries to encourage you to do more. And that's what every leadership, what leadership is all about. Anywhere we go to, see how happy they are. It means that the Shell government is doing something. And then you who is supervising, you're also happy that people acknowledge that something is going on.
Also speaking of management of funds and utilization for the enormous infrastructural projects in the FCT, he stressed that the commitment of the team and accurate management of funds has always helped him coming up with projects that will be completed.
You know, with the team you're working with, for me, I have always said, we will look for funds. Prudent management of fund is key. And when we don't have the fund, we don't need to have world contract. It doesn't matter the pressure that may come. Like I said, you can't solve all the problems at the same time. Identify the ones you can carry on and finish. Not to just have awarded 20 contracts. At the end of the day, how many have you finished? One. And people begin to criticize you. So even if it's only one you have awarded, and say, look, I've awarded this, and I must make sure this contract is completed. So for us, it's commitment. You see that the president has given us all the necessary support, and we all know we don't have any excuses at all to say this is why this cannot be done. We have a good team who is committed, and then with the management of our resources, we're able to carry out these projects simultaneously.
Leadership of the Academic Staff Union of University at Taraba State University has called on the state government to urgently address the welfare of its members following the deaths of 3 lecturers. The union, which alleged that the 3 lecturers died within 48 hours, said the deaths were due to long-standing neglect and unresolved grievances. TSU Chairman Dr. Mbavi Joshua Garba made the appeal in a statement shared on his Facebook account. He expressed deep concern over the loss of the 3 lecturers, whom he identified as Professor Akborido Samuel, Dr. Kiliobas Shah, and Malam Ibrahim Saleh Bali. Their untimely deaths, he claimed, were tied to poor welfare conditions, including unpaid earned academic allowances, unresolved salary backlogs, and the absence of a functional pension scheme, describing the deceased lecturers as not only professionals but also pillars of their families and mentors to many. He decried their conditions under which they had to work, which he said contributed to their deaths. He added that the sacrifices must not go unnoticed. 4 secondary school boys have been arrested in Adamawa State for allegedly raping a 17-year-old girl. The 4, all between 16 and 17 years old, were picked up by operatives of the State Command of the Nigerian Police on charges of criminal conspiracy and rape of a minor. The suspects allegedly conspired and raped the victim by first intoxicating her with large quantity of beer. The Adamawa State Police Command apprehended and brought into custody 4 persons, the police said in a statement signed on Monday by SP Suleiman Nguroje, the command's spokesman. Victim of abduction for ransom died while receiving medical treatment after gunshot wounds by armed bandits in Jibia local government area of Katsina State. It was gathered that the deceased was among 2 rescued victims who had suffered gunshot injuries and were rushed to the hospital for immediate medical attention by the police in the state. The incident was said to have occurred on Sunday after some suspected bandits shooting sporadically attacked 2 commercial vehicles at Danarau village along Magama-Jibia Road in Jibia local government area, Katsina State, in an attempt to kidnap the occupants. Katsina State Governor Diko Rada on Monday unveiled a proposed budget of 682 billion naira for the 2025 fiscal year to the State House of Assembly. The proposed budget breaks down into 157.97 billion naira for recurrent expenditure and 524.27 billion naira, that's 76.85% for capital expenditure, marking a 40% increase from the 2024 budget. This rise emphasizes the administration's commitment to accelerating growth across key sectors. In the breakdown, education and agriculture emerge as top priorities, each receiving 14% of the budget, with allocations of 95.99 billion naira and 81.84 billion naira respectively. Rada highlighted the achievements for the 2024 budget, citing improvements in basic services, revenue generation, and project execution. Governor Caleb Mufang of Plateau State on Monday presented a budget estimate of about 471.1 billion naira to the State House of Assembly for the 2025 fiscal year. Mufang, while presenting the budget to the lawmakers, said the sum of 201.5 billion naira is for recurrent expenditure. Announcement on Monday during the Sokoto State 2025 Citizens Budget discussion held at the Sultan Abubakar Makido Institute of Quranic and General Studies. In his remarks, the former Deputy Governor of the state, Chiso Abdullahi, appealed to the governor to approve a certain amount of money for school principals to cover the immediate maintenance needs of the schools. Abdullahi explained that the money would assist the principals in repairing minor damages to infrastructure or other items without having to wait for long approval processes from the government. Troops of Sector 3 operating under the Multinational Joint Task Force and Operation Hardin Kai have thwarted a terrorist attack by Islamic State West African Province terrorists in Kukawa, Borno State. This was disclosed on Monday by Zagazola Makama, a Lake Chad Basin counter-terrorism and insurgency expert, in a post on his X handle. According to the reports, the attack occurred in the early hours of Monday, with ISWAP fighters advancing from different flanks and motorcycles. Makama stated that he was informed by intelligence sources that the insurgents launched the attack with an SV Beard leading their assault team. Jigawa State College of Education has commenced payment of outstanding allowances to its casual workers, courtesy of Governor Umar Namadi's approval of over 17 million naira for this purpose. According to the college registrar, Bala Isyaku, in a statement made available to newsmen on Monday, the total sum of 17,028,000 naira has been paid to 203 successful screened casual workers. The payment, which commenced on Friday, October 2024, followed a screening conducted by the management under the supervision of the college council members. The provost of the college, Professor Noura Ringjim, thanked the governor for his dedication to improving the education sector and prioritizing workers' welfare. Also, Isyako commended Namadi for his kind gesture, saying that the payment would go a long way in supporting the casual workers. He urged the workers to continue to support the college in its efforts to provide quality education to its students. Operatives of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps at the Yankaba Eastern Bypass roundabout in Kano have arrested a suspected Jumat Mux vandal. Public Relations Officer of the NSCDC, Kano State Command, Ibrahim Abdullahi, confirmed the arrest in a statement released on Monday. He said the suspect, Murtala Ali Umar, 35 years old, a resident of the Waking Dakata quarters in Nasarawa local government area, Kano, was apprehended late at night after gaining entry into Dakata Juma'at Mosque through its window. It was also noted that the same suspect had recently been accused of stealing over 300,000 naira from the mosque, an allegation he confessed to. Federal High Court's Damaturu, Yobe State, has sentenced a 26-year-old man, Nasiru Lawan, to 8 years in a correctional facility for stealing transformer coil wire weighing approximately 37 kilograms and valued at about 1 million naira at the Government Girls Unity College, Damaturu. Lawan was charged on October 11, 2024 by the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps Prosecution Counsel, Barrister Jida Abdul Kadir, on 2 counts of tampering, removal, and theft of transformer coil. The prosecution presented convincing evidence and witnesses from the Intelligence and Investigation Department of the NSCDC, leading to Lawan's conviction. Lawan and an accomplice who remains at large vandalized the school's electricity transformer on September 8, 2024. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this break. Just stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. This is the Global News in Atlantic Television Network. And now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu on Monday called on the legislature to prioritize the increased funding and reforms for the nation's space program. Tinubu made this call when he declared open the 25th anniversary of the National Space Research and Development Agency at the State House Conference Center, Abuja. He emphasized the role of a well-funded and empowered space sector in driving Nigeria's development and ensuring the country remains a leader in Africa's space industry. Represented by the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Naji, the President also highlighted the need to enhance support to solidify Nigeria's position in the fourth industrial revolution and foster greater international engagement in space exploration. As Nigeria joined the rest of the world in the global campaign to end all forms of violence against women and girls, the Speaker Abbas of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has led members of the Green Chamber on advocacy work against gender-based violence as the House of Representatives petitions the Inspector General of Police, demanding action on violence against women and girls. The Speaker on Monday led the leadership and members of the House in a remarkable action to commemorate this year's celebration of the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. And accompanied by the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu, Majority Leader of the House, Honorable Professor Julius E. Holvere, Chairman of the House Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development, Honorable Kapilat Obara, and several other members of House and senior aides. Speaker Abbas led a walk against gender-based violence. The advocacy was part of this year's 16 days activism against gender-based violence, which aimed at the elimination of all forms of violence against women and girls. The advocacy train moved from the National Assembly complex to the headquarters of the Nigerian Police Force, where the House presented a petition to the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Egbetokun, to demand proper investigation and prosecution of violence against women and girls. Addressing the crowds at the main entrance to the National Assembly midway into the journey, the Speaker declared that the 10th House was ready to do more in the campaign against GBV and VAWG.
Report that for every 10 minutes, a woman is being killed across the world. This is an unacceptable trend. Authority, the law enforcement, in ensuring that we eliminate it in the very near future.
The House of Representatives, under the leadership of Right Honorable Tajudeen Abbas and Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, have united in one voice to say that there is no excuse for violence against our women and our girls. They are our mothers.
Chairman of the Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development, Honorable Ogbara, led the delegation to the force headquarters, where she presented the petition on behalf of the House, demanding thorough investigation into cases of violence against women and girls. Other prominent participants in the exercise include Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, Minister of Youth Development Ayodele Olawande, National Youth Leader, All Progressives Congress Dayo Israel, among others. The slogan for this year's campaign is "No Excuse for Violence." Similarly, wife of President Bola Tinubu and Senator Remi Tinubu on Monday joined the global community in commemorating the International Day for the Against Gender-Based Violence. Gender-based violence remains one of the most widespread human rights violations, with nearly 1 in 3 women worldwide experiencing physical or sexual violence in their lifetime. In Nigeria, harmful practices like child marriage and female genital mutilation are still prevalent, often justified by cultural or religious norms. In a statement on Monday, she said, although Nigeria is making remarkable progress, however, many women amended the alleged $35.4 million money laundering charge filed against Binance Holdings Limited. EFCC's lawyer Ekele Ihanacho told Justice Emeka Nwite of the agency's resolve to amend the alleged $35.4 million money charge following the discharge of the Tigran Gambaryan, the second defendant in the charge. Ihanacho said the amendment was also in compliance with the earlier court order to make the court's documents tidier. The application was now opposed by the lawyer who appeared for Binance, Okiamute Okwaka. Nigerian Bar Association on Monday threatened to drag the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede, to court over his allegations that lawyers not only enable corrupt practices to thrive in the country, but also aid illicit financial flows into offshore accounts. The EFCC boss had, in a speech he delivered at the opening of the 6th Annual Criminal Law Review Conference in Abuja, insisted that no mega financial fraud could be perfected without the input of lawyers. Meanwhile, reacting to the allegation, the NBA, through its president, Mazi Afam Osigwe, berated the EFCC chairman for portraying members of the legal profession in a bad light. Osigwe, who spoke shortly after the legal body unveiled the logo and theme of its 2025 Annual General Conference, billed to hold in Port Harcourt, River State, maintained that the EFCC boss lacked the evidence to support his allegation. Absence of Justice Inyang Ekwo of the Federal High Court in Abuja on Monday stalled a 50 billion naira suit filed by Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, against the federal government. The matter, which was fixed for today, could not proceed because Justice Ikwo was an official engagement. The judge was said to be sitting in another division of the court. The case was subsequently fixed for February 11, 2025 for further mention. Aloy Ejimako had, in one of the proceedings, told Justice Ikwo that he had filed a notice for a change of counsel. Ejimako told the court that he would be taking over the case from Chief Mike Ozekome, who filed the suit on April 7, 2022. Nigeria and Brazil have signed a memorandum of understanding that would attract $4.3 billion private sector investment in agriculture in 774 local governments. The scope of the investment, which is expected to revolutionize agriculture in the country, covers fertilizer production and hybrid seed technology. Also, the MOU will create new opportunities in agricultural financing. The groundbreaking partnership between Nigeria and Fundação Getúlio Vargas of Brazil, both countries believe, will boost food productivity. The MOU signed during the G20 Leaders Summit in Rio de Janeiro focuses on driving innovation and investment in fertilizer production, hybrid seed technology, and agricultural finance across the councils. Managing Director of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, Akintunde Soweya, has emphasized President Bola Tinubu's commitments to revitalizing education in the country through the student loan program designed to reduce unproductivity and unhappiness amongst Nigerian students. Speaking at an engagement meeting with students, educators, and government officials, Soya explains the loan's modalities, which include creating an online profile as a prerequisite for application, clarifying that the loan is interest-free and does not require a fixed repayment period, making it accessible and flexible for students. The Borno State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology and Innovation, Lawan Makube, was on his part reiterated the state government's commitment to facilitating students' access to the loan, as he announced the establishment of a dedicated DEX officer for NELFund in the state to work in collaboration with the state advisor to Governor Zulum on higher education. According to Wakibe, the initiative will guide students throughout the application process and ensure they fully understand the benefits of the loan, which he describes as a low-risk grant available to all eligible students to take advantage of. Nigerian Meteorological Agency and the Nigeria Governors Forum say they would sign a memorandum of understanding to strengthen their collaboration against climate change. A statement by NIMET on Monday said the collaboration is in the interest of Nigeria's continued socio-economic development. Speaking at a meeting at NGF's office in Abuja over the weekend, the Director General and Chief Executive Officer of NIMET, Professor Charles Anosike, said that a formal relationship between the NGF and NIMET is in the best interest of the country, as it will benefit the people. Continuing, Professor Anosike said that NIMET and NGF believe strongly that something should be done to mitigate the impact of climate change and would sign an MOU to guide their relationship. In the meantime, Nigeria Meteorological Agency has predicted sunshine and dust haze from Monday to Wednesday across the nation. NIMET's weather outlook released in Abuja predicted slight dust haze on Monday in the northern region with localized visibility of 2 km to 5 km over the region throughout the forecast period. According to it, moderate dust haze with localized visibility of less than 1,000 meters is anticipated over the region on Tuesday throughout the forecast period in the northern region. The agency emphasized slight dust haze over the region throughout the forecast period in the north-central region. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll take on more of the stories. Just stay with us.